Okay, let's go. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to be talking about chord inversions, which are basically just chords, but the notes are shuffled around a little bit. If you're a beginner on the piano and you know how to play some chords, this is going to be a really interesting video for you, as it's going to help you play piano a lot easier. If you haven't learned about chords yet, I've put a link in the description below with a video I created about chords, so you can watch that now. And with that out of the way, let's get into this.
So first of all, you might have done some basic chords already. In this example, I'll use C major. So in this position, where I have a gap between each note, C is the first note of our chord. This is called the root position. Think of it like a tree. It grows from the ground up, and in this, we build the chord from the ground up, being C, E, and G. And it's the same with many other chords of this shape. So if I play a G major, G is the root of the chord, so this is the root position as G is on the left of the shape. And then this one, E minor, E is the root of the chord and is at the beginning, so this is the root position for E minor. Playing through all of the majors in this shape, I've got C major, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Then we can also play all of the minor chords in a similar shape as well, from C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. So what is an inversion? Each of these chords has 3 notes. So if I start with C major, we've got 3 notes that we can choose from. But these notes can be moved around a little bit. So C, I can actually take from the bottom and place it at the top. So now we have here the first inversion of C major. And the reason you know it's the first inversion is because C is now the top note of the shape. And it's the first note coming from the right of the chord. This is important that you know this. In this shape, you notice that there is a bigger gap at the top of the shape as opposed to the bottom. I could play a series of chords in this first inversion shape too. And of course, I can do this with the minor chords too. Going back to C major, we've done 2 different shapes. We've got the root position, where the root is at the start of the chord. And then we have the first inversion, where the root is now the first note on the right of the shape this time. Now there's another shape we can do if we take E and we paste it at the top now, so that we have the root of the chord in the middle, making it the second inversion. The reason we know this is the second inversion is because we can start by counting at the top of the shape and go 1, 2, and find that the root of the chord is now the second note from the top. Again, I could play a series of chords from this shape as well. And also I can play the minor chords, of course. And in this second inversion shape, we also notice that there is a bigger gap in the left of the shape as opposed to the right of the shape, with a smaller gap. So now we have 3 different shapes that we can play a chord that is made up of 3 notes, like C major. And now, if I was to take G from the bottom of this one and take it to the top of the shape, we return back to the original root position shape that we started with.
Okay, you might be wondering why we've got chord inversions, because it seems unnecessary when you can just play the song by playing the chords that are written down.
But you see, inversions of chords are actually going to help you play the song a little bit easier and also make it a little bit more interesting so that you can sound different from the original song. Let me give you an example. So I can take a standard pop song chord sequence like... However, I can play this song differently by using inversions, but also it means that I can move my hands less. This time I'm going to play C major here, but then instead of travelling down the piano to here, I can play G major here. And then I can play A minor by simply going up 1 on my right hand. And then to play F major, all I have to do is move this middle note to F, and it still sounds very similar to the original. And this goes for any chord sequence. You can make it easier simply by using chord inversions. Here's All of Me by John Legend. So notice, I used chord inversions to make it sound like the song. I have F minor here, then D flat major here, then I have A flat major here, and then I have E flat major here. So my hand is moving the least possible space to create the sound. And that's a lot easier than having to travel from here, down to here, all the way up to here, and back down here. It's unnecessary movement. But saying that, I can also play the chords here. And notice in that one, I never had to move this finger until I got to the very last chord.
Now, at the moment, this might look a little bit confusing to you because the chords are changing places so much, and it's hard to keep track of where the root of the chord is. The thing to know is it actually takes some time to be able to play the chords in this order. You don't even know, but I just spent 10 minutes going through those chord sequences before I got the perfect shot. So practice always makes perfect, and the best way to use chord inversions is to make the smallest possible route for your hands to travel. And doing this is going to make your piano playing much more interesting.
Let's take a longer chord sequence, say from Pachelbel's Canon. So in this chord sequence, I actually have 8 chords, starting from D major to A major, B minor, F sharp minor, G major, D major, G major, and A major, to return back to D major, and repeat. But how can I make this easier to play? So first of all, I can start with D major here, and I can keep my finger on A, because I know that that's going to be the root of my next chord, and play the first inversion of A. First inversion because A is at the top of the shape. Remember, we count the notes from the top going down when we are doing first inversion or second inversion, which would be here, because A is the second note from the top. Okay, let's continue. So we've got A major now, and then we can play B minor. Where's my closest B minor? Now, I could go down to here, but I can also go up to here, where I've got the first inversion of B minor as well. And that makes sense because I've got the first inversion of A major, and because I'm going up 1 note with my left hand, I may as well just go up 1 note on my right hand. So I play B minor here. And now I want to go down to F sharp. And we're going to take this shape and we're going to hold F sharp and we just move the other notes around it. So now I'm playing a second inversion of the F sharp minor chord, where the F sharp is the second note from the top this time. And then now I can go up 1 with my left hand, and I go up 1 with my right hand. So now I'm playing the second inversion of G major. And from here, because I'm already holding D with my right hand, when I go to the next chord, all I have to do is take the 2 top fingers and return to the root position of D major. And then, because I'm going back up with my left hand to G, all I have to do is go back to the chord I just played, G major in the second inversion. And then now from here, because my left hand is going up 1 note, all I have to do is go up 1 note on my right hand to play the second inversion of A major. And then from here, I can actually choose to go up with my right hand to here, it sounds different to the original chord sequence. And then I can play the chord sequence, changing it from here. And now I can play the sequence from here, and it changes how it sounds again. And then from here, I can go back to the original shape that I started with.
Okay, that one I played correct pretty much straight away. And that's because I've been playing the song for 15 years, so I know it inside out. Okay, that's everything that I can put into this video about chord inversions. Please put in the comments below if you have any more questions, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. And if you have any more ideas for tutorials that I can make in future, please put them in the comments as well. And the more ideas that you give me, the better I can help you play. Once again, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, Rory says goodbye too.